Hey guys, it's Carl from Color Studios. Today is Sunday, September 7th. We are back here at Great Adventure, the final visit before Fright Fest begins this weekend coming up, which is very exciting. So we're going to see what has been done in terms of more Fright Fest prep. I'm curious if the other mazes are getting ready, if we're going to see anything from the Golden Kingdom open. We don't really know too much of that yet, but we'll let you guys know what we see inside the park. And as you can probably tell from the scenery, it's a very gloomy day. It's been raining all night into this morning, and it's still drizzling a little bit here, but we are inside the Great Adventure weather bubble, which typically leads to Great Adventure not getting terrible weather. Whenever there's, bad weather in New Jersey around the park, they seem to be kind of immune to it for the most part, and I guess today is one of those days. It's a less crowded day when Flash's line is only that long and the VIP entrance is closed. They only have a couple entrances open, so I'm not expecting very many crowds. Of course, there's tons of Fright Fest and Kids Boo Fest ads everywhere. There's one right there, and all along the ticket booths as well. You can see tons of ads for that as well. First up, we have some new scenery up front here. I really like this. These kind of little trees they got with pumpkins. They decorated the whole entrance as well. That looks really, really nice. And this right here is how you really know it's Fright Fest time. We got all kinds of stuff that's been set up. For one, we have that statue from last year that is returned, and we got all this really nice kind of prop work on the bottom here as well. I don't know if all of that was here last year, but this thing looks excellent. I know a lot of people are still upset that they don't have the colonial statue back here, but I honestly love that they're able to do this for Fright Fest. It looks awesome. Of course, we got the giant pumpkin man in the center of the fountain. That's how you always know it's Fright Fest time. And they've made the path quite a bit smaller around the circle here. As you can see, there's tons of props everywhere along this main drag here. And they have some lighting rigs set up over there as well. So maybe we're gonna see something happen over here. I don't really recall that usually being over here. Looks like they got the car over here this year. And look at that, even more decor, a couple of the cars over here as well. This is pretty similar to how it was last year for Fright Fest. Got one of the cars right there. Lots of corn stalks are on that one as well, and tons of props as you walk down towards the giant wheel as well. They've also switched over Looney Tunes Live to Fright Fest Live. That's the Looney Tunes meet and greet area next to the Six Flags Photos building. So I'm gonna take a bit of an unconventional path around the park today, just to kind of see all the Fright Fest stuff coming together. This right here, of course, is Blade Drummers, formerly known as Blood Drummers. They always have a couple of different names, but the stage is all set up. We got all the seating over here as well. And this is the stage right here. This is always one of my favorite Fright Fest shows. They do a great job, and having this in this big open area right here really does light up this portion of the park. It really is just an electric show, and I'm very happy that we're getting it back this year. Now, of course, down here is the pirate-themed haunt area, which we saw in last week's update, and pretty much nothing has changed. They more or less had all the props out already for last week, and this, like I said last week, this is just a great area. They always do a really nice job with it. I know it's a little tucked away, kind of out of the way, because you don't usually walk this way unless you're going to one of these rides over here on the lakefront, but they do a really good job with it. Now over here, we have one of the park's 3 non-IP mazes, that of course being the Witch's Reflections. They don't have the queue thing set up yet. I imagine they're just gonna do that during the week, because you don't want to occupy all this path space if you don't need to. But this one used to be one of my least favorites back when it was Reflections of the Dead. But as Witch's Reflections, when they changed it over last year, it actually got really, really good. They changed the layout a little bit. It actually had like a good theme. So this is a pretty good one. You're not gonna want to miss this one, though it does get a pretty lengthy line, so you're gonna want to hit it fairly early. Over here in Movie Town, this isn't actually a scare zone per se, but they do have that really nice prop right there. I'm trying to figure out what the base of this thing actually is, and I really can't tell. It looks like it may be from the hayride, but I could definitely be wrong on that. It's a really nice little thing though. Just kind of adds to what usually doesn't really have anything in it, and fill it with this really nice prop that looks very nice. So over here down by Wonder Woman, next to what used to be Stranger Things, they actually have painted over it now. It's had a different color scheme last year to kind of blend in with the Hawkins High School theming. Now it's been painted all gray. And as I keep saying, as far as we know, this is not going to be a maze this year, which honestly is kind of surprising, because I know it was not cheap to do all of the upgrades that they did. It looks like they're actually installing this like green fencing, so maybe it's gonna be a maze. I mean, there's nothing announced for this space, so we really don't know. But you can see over there as well, there's bundles of that green fencing sitting over there, so maybe we'll see something done over here, even if they're just kind of masking it. All the lights are on inside, which could mean that they are working on the interior, but I wouldn't bet on it, because like I said earlier, this is not confirmed to be a maze this year. Wonder Woman is unfortunately still closed. It's been closed for quite a while now. I'm hoping it reopens before the end of the season, but I wouldn't necessarily guarantee it, because we've seen extended closures on Wonder Woman before. They're not really that rare, but It has been closed for, I'd say, at least a month, maybe more. I don't remember exactly how long, but just keep an eye on it. Never since my last visit, DC Heroes and Villains Fest has wrapped up, and it certainly wrapped up quick. It's all gone. There's literally nothing left of the event except for the Ivy Bar right here, which I'm assuming they're just gonna keep here for Fright Fest, because of course they love to sell alcohol for Fright Fest. Even inside the Metro shop here, it looks like all the merch has been converted over to Fright Fest merch. Yeah, I'm not seeing any DC style merch there, so they swept up that event very quickly. I hope we see more events like that. I'd imagine we'll probably see it return next year because it was very, very successful. But we'll see. I do want to see more events, maybe spread out throughout the park, because just the way that really lit up this area for that second half of the day was excellent. It was really, really well done. As I'm walking out of Movie Town here, I'm also noticing that Speed Force is no more. They have switched over to a Haunted Attractions Pass retail location. So that is where you're gonna be able to purchase either the Haunted Attractions Pass regular or the Express Pass, because as is the case for many years now, mazes are not included with park admission, which they're now doing across the whole chain, and that includes for Cedar Fair parks. I know the Cedar Fair park goers probably aren't too happy because they've gotten mazes included with park admission for a long time now, but it looks like the new company is going more in the way of Legacy 6 when it comes to the haunted attraction. Going around the other side of the fountain now, we have more decor starting over here. Again, not too different from what they usually do. We got this little house as well, which usually you'll have a ghoul pop out of and get you. But we're gonna see, I'm really curious to see if anything has been done in Plaza de Carnaval, unless they're calling it the Golden Kingdom now, because according to the website, the two mazes over there, Trick or Treat and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they're counting that as the Golden Kingdom. So I don't know, it could just be a typo. I'm also gonna, of course, check on Project 2027 when we go over here, which I'm sure a lot of you are eager to see. Probably gonna go outside the park as well into the parking lot and get a better view from over there too. Over here at Yum Yum, we have the menus now on these giant plates on either pillar here, which I like. It's you can tell they did not use the original piece here, so they can take this off whenever. It's just added on top. But I do like this. That way people can know what's going on inside there before they even go in, because Granny's has a similar setup with the kiosk out there showing you the menu, so good change. And then this is a pretty nice change actually. The Freak Show has been moved further down on the boardwalk, now right in front of where Daredevil Dive used to be. Honestly, I think this is a much, much better spot for this show. It's gonna get a lot more traction because I doubt many people are gonna want to venture all the way down the boardwalk considering the state of it right now. It looks like they also have a ton of these projectors mounted on top of the games pointing towards the pathway. So maybe we're gonna see some projections going on in the main plaza here, the boardwalk, which is pretty cool. Over at the red tent, which of course is where Big Top Terror is, they have put all the decorative panels inside the windows there, which we first saw debut last year, because last year this got a big change with the queue setup. Like the situation is with the Witch's Reflections, this does not have its queue set up quite yet. They're probably waiting until this week to do that, because that could probably be done pretty quickly. But very excited for this maze. This is another one of the non-IP mazes that is really, really well done. Well, this is a good sign. We have lighting rigs going up inside Plaza de Carnaval. This is going to become a Day of the Dead themed scare zone, and I was kind of getting worried last week because we hadn't really seen anything done yet, but this is a very good sign. It looks very similar to what they have over at the boardwalk with presumably projections or just lighting effects going down on the pathway here. There's two of them right here. Let's see how many more there are as we keep going. So it looks like we have three. And then let's see what's further up in the area. So it looks like this is probably gonna be where most of the scares are concentrated as you walk up towards Tango, which is kind of funny because any little kid that's gonna try to ride Tango is probably gonna be very upset if they get scared as they're walking up there. But let's go see if there's anything else closer to Toro. Over here, Trick or Treat merch is back. It looks pretty much the same as last year. Honestly, it's probably the same stock they had from last year, plus just another batch. This, of course, is going to be where the entrance to Trick or Treat is, unless they decide to change it this year. It was set up right there, kind of where the Ka Toro pathway was. And it looks like, I could be wrong, but I don't remember that piece, all those pieces of the building being gray. That could just be my memory jogging me, but they might have repainted that. Of course, we still have all the banners up here, and as I walk over here to try to get a closer look at what's going on, because like I said, we don't really know what the orientation is going to be over there. They have not really done too much over here from the looks of it. And down towards Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there's nothing different on this side. I mean, I'm assuming they're still going to use this pathway here as a either queue or exit for that maze, unless it's all going to be concentrated in the Golden Kingdom over there, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Here comes Toro with a few empty seats, not too many. Like I said, the park's not dead, but it's not particularly crowded either. I'm just not really feeling like riding too much today. We're gonna continue our rounds of the park, we'll end off in the Boardwalk where we'll take a look at Project 2027. Maybe do the safari today, we'll see. But we're gonna head over into, I forget what the scare zone is called, but it's one of the better scare zones they have during Fright Fest. So here we are in front of Mine Train Best of the West. Best of the West is still closed. I don't know if we're gonna see it reopen. If I had to guess, probably not. They are not running the safari out of here anymore, and Log Flume is more than likely done for the season. They do still have the fountains on though, which, I mean, it looks cool. I hope that when this does reopen, hopefully next year, that they move the fountain's strength back a little bit. That way it hits you as you splash by, but obviously that doesn't matter right now. It's just for show, and it looks really cool. We got more props since last week for the Western Scare Zone. I'm sorry I don't remember the names. They kind of change them a little too frequently, so I tend to forget. That one is so gory. This one has some of the best props, this whole area, and a lot of really good scare opportunities. I just hope that it's populated enough this year for the scares to really work, because with Log Flume closed and Best of the West closed, it's really just Mine Train and Medusa drawing crowds down here. So we have to hope that, you know, people do still come down. I mean, you can access Toro from down here, but you could just go through there and walk through the Day of the Dead maze, or not maze, scare zone. So we'll see. I really do wish still that Wicked Woods, which was the maze that went under Log Flume all the way back there, would come back. That's been gone for, I think, 4 years now. So if anyone's watching that could maybe, you know, bring it back next year, that'd be so, so cool. BBNP is getting decorated for Kids Boo Fest. We got the side entrance here and front here all decorated. And of course, plenty of pumpkins and hay bales everywhere. This is always a really well done event for those of you with younger kids. I know they get a kick out of it, and I don't know if they're gonna have the maze. They usually have that in here for the kids, which is always really nice. But all the Kids Boo Fest stuff is typically concentrated over here in Bugs Bunny National Park. Some more decorations up here by the other entrance to BBNP. Now, what I know you guys have all been waiting for, we're gonna walk down the Boardwalk and take a look at Project 2027. Before we do that though, we're gonna go into Adventure World and check out some of the merch. You can see some of it out here already. They have a lot of the IP merch, so you got Conjuring. Well, actually right here is just Conjuring. A couple different designs of Conjuring though. You got some 40% off merch, all the 2025 dated stuff it looks like. Plenty of Trick or Treat merch, of course. They even have Sam for sale too. Lots of actual new designs here for Annabelle and just the rest of the Conjuring universe, the Nun as well. These are really, really cool designs. Some more merch over here as well. Of course, like I said, plenty of Trick or Treat. Looks like we got some Texas Chainsaw stuff. A lot of this is exactly the same as it was last year, which is fine because those were really, really nice designs. Even got Leatherface for sale as a Funko Pop. Looks like we have a ton of Stranger Things merch, which has kind of been the pattern for a while now. They have all these hats, tons of shirts, and they're 40% off for everyone. Lots of them over here as well. You got all the Hawkins stuff, Hellfire Club. They actually got rid of or moved a lot of the coaster merch over here now to make room for all the Stranger Things merch. Now my question is, I wonder if you can stack the discounts, like obviously Diamond Elite and Diamond Elite VIP, we get 50% off everything. So I'm curious if that's 40% and then 50% off. Then they're like nothing. That'd be awesome. Jason just found this little bag with the new Six Flags corporate logo. This is a super rare sight. We're down here on the Boardwalk now, and look at that. Garden State Grill is open. Garden State Grill's never open. I think I've seen it open once this year. Maybe they're prepping for Fright Fest crowds, I'm not sure, but that is awesome to see. Chicken Chicken though is not open, unfortunately. I have not seen this one open all year, which is still surprising to me. I mean, yes, it's in an area of the park that's really just dead now, but they did a full renovation of it last year, so maybe we'll see it open for Fright Fest. It all depends on the level of crowds they get. Obviously, we've made it down here to the site of 2027. Look how big that dirt mound is. That was not that big last time. But before we look at that, looks like there is active prep for Army of the Dead underway right now. They're putting up the queue. It looks like pretty much nothing's changed about that one over there. Here's your look through the fence. We'll get some better views later, of course. With all these dirt mounds everywhere, you really can't see much. This is all stuff we already saw on our tour, and I was informed that those orange caps on the top of the rebar are for safety. That way, if anyone's on the site and they happen to trip or fall or go near it, they don't get impaled or anything. So that's all that's for. We're gonna move down a little bit and see if we can see anything else. Here's another view from one of my usual spots. Again, you can see that whole rundown of all the rebar. That looks like, yeah, that's the maintenance track right there. And then further back is where the actual main course goes. and then it runs all the way down that fence line, which we'll get a better view of from out in the parking lot. Now down here, right next to Superman, where Green Lantern used to be, they're actively setting up the queue for Conjuring. Now I was really curious how they were gonna do this one, because obviously Conjuring's queue used to run all the way over there, kind of right next to where Green Lantern was. So it looks like they're just occupying more of this ginormous plaza space for the queue of Conjuring, which makes a ton of sense because there's not many people down here anyway. You don't need that big of a space down here to walk in, so smart move. I'm assuming the entrance is going to be right there where that those temporary barriers are, and you'll probably route all the way through there and then down to there. I'm hoping we see some updates. I mean, The Conjuring was great last year, but I'm curious if any of the IP mazes actually are going to have any substantial upgrades inside. We won't know until this weekend, of course, once Fright Fest begins. Now we're over here in Yum Yum getting food, and they added some additional queue space. I guess maybe it got crowded, or they're just preparing for Fright Fest, but I've never seen the line go quite that long yet. We just ate at Yum Yum, and walking by Dream Street Refreshments, this is a great change. They have misters now above the drink fountains. You can see they've got one there, and one there. I've been asking for this for a little while now because they have it at Canada's Wonderland and it works really well. They're not on right now. You can see that there are certainly plenty of wasps, but I imagine when these are on, it probably works fairly well, which is really, really great to see because the wasps while you're trying to fill your drink is never a pleasant experience. Over here at Six Flags Universe, we've got some new merch. We have this shirt design. It says Six Flags NJ, and then we've got a zip-up version of that along with a hat. And on the back of the zip-up, you got the NJ in the corner, and on the back, it says Six Flags Great Adventure, same as the t-shirt design. We've got some more Fright Fest stuff up here. We got this glow-in-the-dark zip-up. I really like this design because the back kind of looks like the old Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I don't know why, but that's just kind of what it reminds me of. This design here, which has like a almost Day of the Dead kind of look to it. That's really cool. And there's more stuff going up too. It looks like a raincoat design up there. And of course, more of that spider design. As you walk through, you'll just find more and more. You got this pumpkin design. This one kind of looks like a circle. Oh no, that's like Medusa. That's cool. There's all kinds of stuff. And then in Main Street Market, same designs as last week with the Looney Tunes. I like this little skull prop they got here as well. They've also got some more of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre merch, some blankets as well, and more hoodie designs. This one's actually really cool. It's got Toro on it. That's cool. And that is definitely El Toro. There's no mistake in that one. Now, before we head out for the day, we are gonna go for a ride on the Giant Wheel. We're not gonna head out. We're gonna go over to the Safari. I have not ridden the Giant Wheel in a while, so it's gonna be nice to get back on it. All right, up here on the Giant Wheel, I haven't seen the project from up here at all. Let's see, what can you really see? Of course, my phone doesn't want to cooperate. We'll probably have to catch it on the next time around. But there are some nice views up here, especially a flash going through its course over there. All right, now we should be able to get a view. You still can't really see the end of the line per se, but you do get a nice view of the first initial run there. If you guys haven't already checked out my Planet Coaster pre-creation of what this ride may wind up being, go check it out, link down below, so you can kind of get an idea of what this may wind up looking like. Of course, it's not definitely what this is gonna look like, but my best guess. Looking over there at Daredevil Dives plot, which is a plot you don't really get to see too often. I'm not seeing too much from this particular angle. It could be stuff or markers or whatever more on this side where the buildings are blocking, because for all we know, there could be something going there. We do actually get a really nice view from right here of the new coaster project. There goes Jersey Devil over there, rolling on through. I don't know if the programming has changed over there. I'm going to assume it's probably still the same as it was last time. Looking over at Nitro though, Nitro is closed. It was closed yesterday too, I believe, and I don't know if there's any trains on the track, so probably not going to open today if I had to guess. While we were up on the Giant Wheel, I forgot to film it, but the duck pond over right before you get into that scare zone along the lakefront, it has nothing in it now. So it looks like they might be getting ready to put something in there for Fright Fest, which we'll of course see next weekend along with everything else here for Fright Fest. I'm very excited for it. Fright Fest is one of my favorite times of the year. But now we're going to head out of the park and walk over to the Safari. We're going to get a look of the new coaster from over there in the parking lot and see if anything else has changed since last week. And then go for a ride on the Safari. I haven't done it in a few weeks, so it'll be nice to get back on. And as I'm walking out, I'm noticing that they have a queue set up in front of where Saw was last year. Saw is not returning this year, though. So I'm really curious as to why there's a queue set up over there. Maybe that's extended for Asylum. But yeah, it's very strange. All right, we have made it down here to the site. And there's actually been quite a bit more work done since our last time here. You can see that there are more footers now leading all the way to these two giant holes right here. It looks like they are two split holes, and this is kind of where it ends, so I'm assuming this is where the tower is going to be. assuming that that is what this ride winds up being. But very cool to see this progress. The footers currently stop right there. You can see the rebar caps are all on there as well, and there is concrete poured as well. So they're not messing around when it comes to the actual concrete work for this attraction. They have been moving quick. Here's a nice downward look through the fence there. You can see that truck and kind of the straight run all the way down to where the road for Green Lantern was. And this is where they're at now with that giant hole next to these, well, two giant holes really. And that ladder right there really puts into perspective how big the footer is. That ladder is at least 8 feet tall, if I had to guess. It could be taller, so that's a pretty deep hole right there. And yes, the piece of Cos track is still sitting here. It's presumably gonna go into the safari at some point, but not yet. And over here, right next to the shuttle bus stop, they have these two green benches over here, which were not here last time I was over here, which is really nice. You know, of course, gotta wait for that shuttle if you wanna go back over to the park, and you might as well sit while doing so. You can also see over there the two pieces of Lantern's Loop, also presumably going in the safari, but that has not happened quite yet. We're over here at the safari now. I'm not gonna film the entire safari. I'll just film a couple little highlights inside of base camp, anything that might have changed, and whatever I find interesting during the safari ride itself. Safari does actually have a little bit of a line, nothing too bad, nothing we can't wait for. We'll go take a walk around base camp once we're done with our safari ride. Looks like the Six Flags TV trivia has not forgotten about King Dakar quite yet. Over here, we have a couple of new enclosures. We have the Patagonian Cavy. I don't think it's out today because it is a little rainy out, but all of this is relatively new. They kind of expanded base camp out for this year. You got this little guy right here, which is a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig. There you go. And we got some goats up in here, one of my favorite animals. These specifically are pygmy goats. There's a whole bunch of them actually. Got 1, 2, that one's staring me down, 3, 4, 5 of them. They all look very happy. And then over here, of course, we've got Aldabra Island with the Aldabra tortoises. That sign for Aldabra Island, of course, coming from inside the Golden Kingdom, where the two of them used to be. Now they hang out in that corner over there, but they've got a lot of stuff they can do. They got this nice little pool right here. They've got this ball they can go hit, I guess. Lots of really nice stuff for them. And then over here, of course, we've got the other animals next to the restrooms, including the laughing kookaburra bird. I don't have my dad with me today, so I can't make him laugh, but normally he can get very loud. So over here, if you do decide to use your meal plan at base camp, I don't know if this is just today, but what we had to do is we went up here first. They told us we had to go to guest relations, which is right over there. They scan your pass, and then they give you vouchers for your snack or your meal, and that's how we were able to get this. Like I said, I don't know if that's how it is all the time, but just keep that in mind. I mean, it worked. We got these Dippin' Dots, and they're pretty good. But that's going to do it for our time here at Great Adventure and the Safari. If you guys enjoyed all the updates we showcased, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.